Welcome back, everyone. J-Bone here for Smash This Podcast. Oh man, if anybody could give a proper reaction to the everything that's happened over the last few days in professional wrestling, it'd be this.
Yeah, this is horrible.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it. Or this.
This is sick. This is sick. This whole
And if that particular gentleman was caught in the melee that is being talked about so much, he probably would have said,
"Pull my scarf."
All right, that's enough bits for a little bit. Welcome back, everyone. I tell you, there's been so much being thrown around right now. And well, we finally got some facts. And I've been saying this for years. I know people out there are just losing their ever-loving mind with all these little bits of news that get put out there, or something gets shared, and oh, by the way, this got debunked because it's fake, and oh, sources say this and sources say that. I tell you, if you're a wrestling fan in 2022, and you're paying a dirt sheet to get certain news first, you're wasting your money. I had to absolutely laugh when I heard what was actually being put out from, well, I don't even need to say it, one of my favorites. Oh, sources say this and sources say that, but we don't have anything actual to report to you. Speculation, it's all speculation, but when people are paying for this, they're like, oh, but it's actually news. No, these guys don't have shit. Do you know who actually came out with news this morning? Of all people, Justin Barrasso of Sports Illustrated came out with the most real news since Sunday. Crazy, right? And I've had my fair share of opinions about good old Justin before. I don't need to tell you about those because I've talked about them plenty. Oh, but anyways, I'll say this. Justin has improved over the years. Not by leaps and bounds, but he has improved. So I'll give him this. Justin Miller, much love, brother. Late night bone drinking. Now, before we get into all the chaos and actual results from this evening, I do want to talk, because I didn't formerly review the Clash at the Castle or All Out, okay? I will tell you this, though. I watched both. I watched Clash at the Castle somewhere in the second half of Saturday when I was finally winding down. I actually sat down and I looked at the card. I'm like, wow, there's only a handful of matches. That's really kind of shocking. And then you look at what All Out had, and I know some people just say it was just comical with the amount of matches there were. So, but look, I have to say this, okay? I enjoyed both Clash at the Castle and All Out, okay? They both entertained me. Sports entertained me, but I'm bummed. And I'll tell you what, I even watched Monday Night Raw. Now, mind you, I watched that super late at night, and I watched it on fast forward especially to get through the commercials. And that's the only way to watch it. I tell you, you sit through 3 hours, it's just still torture, especially for a guy my age. If you're a young buck, pardon the pun, if you're a young buck, you pound about 10 bangs and you can get through 3 hours of wrestling on a Monday. But Braun Strowman's back, and I just wanted to touch on that for a minute. I'm happy he's back. Okay, when he was upset, when he was Jiminy Christmas, when he was let go, I was upset. Well, sure, he was upset too. But yeah, he was crying in that one video. He was literally crying in his beer. In that thing with EC3. But look, Braun Strowman's back. The monster among men. Get these hands. I'm happy. He's become one of my, I'll say, local favorites after what he did for the community in here, around here in Waukesha. When he and EC3 came in and all their merch sales totaled, I don't remember what it was, $8,000-9,000, whatever it was. And they gave everything they got that night, they put it straight back into the community. And that made me really happy, to be that unselfish. So to see a guy like that get called back to the WWE under a new regime and get a second chance, maybe not the greatest way to debut him. That's my only constructive criticism on it, is they were kind of having him do, well, I shouldn't say kind of, they were straight up having him do his old shtick, with the, choo choo around the ring. But other than that, I'm happy to see him back. And he's going to be on, Friday Night SmackDown? I don't know what show he's going to, stay on or whatever. But did you... I'm looking at the conversation in the chat. It's funny. So who we got? Mark in here. Anna's in here. William. Courtney, good evening, everyone. Zach Abonifer's in here. Christopher, good evening. I know it's late, and we're going to just kind of bounce all over the place, so just bear with me. So yeah, no formal review on Clash at the Castle or All Out, but I will say, part of what I'll talk about tonight has to do with All Out as far as kind of reviewing Dynamite and just talking about the surrounding news of everything. Oh, there's news? To quote Cody Rhodes, what do you want to talk about? Oh, God. But yeah, Clash was good. I thought the main event between Roman and McIntyre was actually really good, which saw the debut of a younger cousin or younger brother of the Uso brothers. So that'll be interesting. So the bloodline has some new blood in it. That's pretty cool. Probably kick Zayn out. And what's actually happening between Kevin Owens and Zayn in this story is actually pretty interesting too. Kevin Owens is still killing it, I gotta say. What else? Anything of note? I can't think. I know there was something I was going to talk about, and I can't think of what. Oh, that's not it. That's totally not it. I'll find it. Give me 2 seconds. Is that it? Why does... Oh, that's not it. Well, anyways. I can't think of anything else off the top of my head. I didn't take notes. But no, I didn't watch NXT Worlds Collide. I saw a few clips from it online, which looked, I guess, entertaining. I have no clue who it was. But yeah, let me try to look this up real quick. Just bear with me, folks. Clash at the Castle. There we go. No, I don't want image gallery. There's got to be something. It was something else I was going to talk about, and I can't remember what the hell. Oh, yeah. Okay, here we go. Oh, I didn't watch the pre-show. Didn't even realize there was a pre-show. All right, here. Rollins and Riddle put on a damn good match. Gunther and Sheamus absolutely beat the shit out of each other. It was crazy. So yeah, there were, I mean, with as many matches as there were, which it wasn't many, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 matches on the main card, which is pretty light. But here's the great part about that. They let each match breathe. I mean, really gave each one a decent amount of time. The women even had a decent amount of time, which was great to see. So Dominic turned on Edge and his father, Rey Mysterio, at the end of their match. And then, showing up the next night on Raw was, you could say, entertaining to say the least. Excuse me. But, so yeah, there's that. I just wanted to touch on it. Oh, that is not tonight's. Wow, what? That's last week's. How about tonight's? Here we go. So, God, why can't I find this? I had the results up here. And I'm just, losing it here. I'll get it. Don't worry. I'll get it. Oh, God. We'll just type it in here. How about that? We'll just type it in here. All Out 2022. How about that? There we go. Storylines. How about results? There we go. I did not watch the 0 hour, but I'll say this, man, did they pack that full of matches? 4 matches. 4 matches. Holy crap. And they didn't waste any time with bringing back one of the most controversial figures of this year in AEW. He's been gone for a while. No, I'm not, High Mark. I'm not. Honestly, I'm not. I'm tired. I'm very tired. So they brought back MJF, which we could all pretty much tell immediately it was MJF just by his mannerisms, the way he walked, his figure. You know, we could tell it was. You could tell it was him. It was interesting how it happened because Stokely Hathaway actually won the match. He was out there with the Gun Club, Ethan Page, Lee Moriarty, and W. Morrissey. Just talk about a misfit crew. And beating Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta, Pentagon, Fenix, Dante Martin, and Andrade and Rush. So some really good talent out there, but they all got just thrown by the wayside by MJF and this new misfit crew. Let's fix this over here. Yeah, the Misfits. Oops, wrong brand. Let's see. Now, this, of course, is a bit of a sore subject because of what happened later in the night. But we had the finals in the AEW World Trios Championship Tournament finals. You got the Dark Order, which consisted of Alex Reynolds, sober John Silver, because every single time I see him now, he's like plastered or plowed or whatever. And I don't know why either. I mean, God, if the guy's got a problem, get him some help. It's getting to the point where it's embarrassing, especially on BTE. Jeez Louise. I really don't want to. And he was one of my favorites on there, and it's to the point that I don't want to see him anymore. Adam Page, of course, rounding out the three versus the Elite. Kenny Omega and two of my, favorites. Little cringe there. The Bucks, the Young Bucks. And that was fun. They told a great story, especially the stuff between Kenny and Hangman. The Elite winning. Winning that one, and then we'll get to the stuff that happened later a little bit. Jade Cargill retained against Athena, which I gotta say, I've started watching this whole on the Disney Plus, the She-Hulk series. So when I saw Jade Cargill coming out looking like She-Hulk, kind of a, I don't know, what do they call it, cosplay? Is that what all the hip kids call it, the cosplay? Which no one on the commentary panel got it right. They said, oh, she looks green because she's the color of money. It's like, no, she looks like She-Hulk, dumbass. That just cracked me up. I'm like, did somebody not get the memo of what she looks like? She looks like She-Hulk. So I thought that was pretty good. Out of all the people that Jade Cargill has faced, I thought Athena would be the one to dethrone her, but that's obviously not happening. She became number 30, whatever, 37, 8, 9, whatever it is. The Jade Cargill holding tight to that TBS title. I will say this, Jade Cargill is, she's not one of my favorites, but she is getting better and better with these matches. And this one certainly wasn't very long. It was less than 5 minutes, but for what they did in the ring was pretty good. Wardlow and FTR defeated Jay Lethal and the Motor City Machine Guns. This one was fun too, but it was more, you know, I was more trying to pay attention to FTR and the Motor City Machine Guns. Are we going to get a FTR versus Motor City Machine Guns down the road? Hey, we can just cross our fingers, right? Bound for Glory seems like a great place for it. But from what I've heard, we're not going to see the Motor City Machine Guns in AEW anymore. Powerhouse Hobbs beat Ricky Starks in 5 minutes. I kind of blinked and missed that one, so I wasn't, you know, crying over that one. The place really lit up for the AEW World Tag Team title match. The Acclaimed going up against Strickland and Keith Lee, Swerve in Our Glory, which I still think is a crazy-ass title for a tag team, but yeah, it is what it is. That crowd wanted the Acclaimed to win. I have never heard a crowd so much behind the Acclaimed. I mean, they were losing their minds to the point where they were actually booing Keith Lee and Swerve, which is crazy. But they're getting the rematch according to tonight's episode of Dynamite. They're getting the rematch at what the hell is that? In what, 2 weeks? Arthur Ashe Stadium. So that should be a hell of a crowd. Tony Storm in the Fatal 4-Way for the AEW AEW Women's World Championship, and then following in the media scrum, Tony both buried the current AEW Women's Champion. And if you missed that part of the media scrum, go back and listen to it, because it's part of the media scrum that is a little overlooked, and yet it's so blatant it's not even funny. Tony was just good old TK was just all out of sorts that night. Courtney says she hates that the Guns lost. Well, you got to remember where they're fighting. This is AEW. This is not Impact Wrestling. If it was in Impact Wrestling, the Guns would have won. But Tony Storm is your new interim AEW Women's World title holder, beating Hikaru Shida, Jamie Hayter, and DMD Brett Baker. A lot of fans seem to be really behind Jamie Hayter in this one. And when Tony won, I mean, fans love Tony Storm, but I don't know. I think, like, I get that they want to save the whole drama of William Gunner says, are we reviewing Degrassi with all this drama? Yeah, you'd think so, right? They want to save the drama for DMD and Hayter, as we saw an ounce of that tonight on Dynamite. So that they'll expand on that more in future episodes, I'm sure. And Mark says Hayter is Bader. I still don't know what the hell that means, but it's okay. I'm old. I don't have to understand everything. No, I know what you're saying. She's Bay, right? That's whatever. So yeah, I like Tony Storm. The match was okay. And then what was it? The day after All Out, Hikaru Shida came out with an AEW or shopaew.com exclusive 1 of 3,000 sale, a chase sale, where you could buy Hikaru Shida, a chase of the Hikaru Shida figure that I have for $50. And then I was looking at both of them and I was like, wow, the one I have comes with a belt, but this one doesn't come with a belt, but it comes with extra fists. And I'm like, is it really worth the $50? In my mind, no, I couldn't. No. I'll go on eBay and I'll buy one of the old Braun Strowman figs for, $20 or less, celebrating his comeback. I'll put some money in some dude's pocket for that. So, but whatever. Next, let's see here. Christian Cage beat Jungle Boy in 33 seconds. Luchasaurus turning on Jungle Boy. Christian Cage apparently is injured, which is why we got that. So, I mean, as upsetting as that was, it was certainly something different that none of us expected. And now, we're going to continue to get this Jungle Boy versus Christian Cage whenever Christian Cage comes back. In the meantime, he can beat the dinosaur's ass, I guess. It's sad. It's sad. Fan favorite tag team is going by the wayside. But, Jungle Boy is growing up to be Jungle Man or something. Chris Jericho defeating Bryan Danielson. This one got a nice amount of time. Over 20 minutes. One of the best matches of the night. And we're going to get a rematch of it next week, folks. And I'm not complaining. Not complaining one bit. Sting, Darby. This one was kind of interesting. Sting, Darby Allin, and Miro defeated the House of Black, Malachi Black, Brody King, and Buddy Matthews. Oh, and Julia Hart was there too. Now, someone said, now this did come up in the news in the last day or so. Apparently, off camera, the 3 guys in the House of Black hugged, and then Malachi Black, said farewell to the crowd, as in he's going away. Now, nothing has been confirmed out there, okay, as far as I know. So I'm not going to sit here and give you some fake news like everyone and their uncle is. There has been speculation that he was upset and he asked for his request. I don't even know if that's been confirmed, okay? But that's where this all stems from. The only thing that I've heard recently in the last 24 hours that may be true, I don't know, is that he's taking a break. A lot of people are saying he's going back to the WWE. I highly doubt that. So, look, believe what you want to believe out there. But this I can tell you, okay? I can tell you this much. His name and his face is still on the roster page in AEW's roster page, okay? So, he's still part of the company. What's next for him? What's next for the House of Black, if you will? I don't know. But the whole company is going through a lot of changes right now. You're seeing a lot of new faces, a lot of changes. We'll just have to wait and see. So then on to the main event. I gotta say, CM Punk and Moxley absolutely tore the shit out of the ring. It was great. I loved it. CM Punk, I mean, really no surprise, got his title back in Chicago. But it's everything that's happened after that that is what everyone's talking about. And what's crazy about the whole weekend is that no one's even talking about D'Lo Brown leaving Impact Wrestling. No, that's hardly big news. I mean, we who are, you know, the diehard Impact Wrestling fans take notice to that kind of stuff. Where he's going next, what he's doing, I have no idea. I have not heard anything. All I've heard is that he's just no longer with the company. I can try to find something later, but I doubt I'm going to find much. Jeff Samuel, good evening. Calls me a YouTube legend. You're too kind. By the way, make sure you guys are smashing that like button and smashing that sub button and ringing that bell for notifications. Super chats are also open. How do I feel about the Stokely faction with Ethan Page? I really can't say much about it yet. I mean, they helped MJF win, but when MJF was out there, he was kind of out there on his own. He wasn't with anyone. So I know that Stokely Hathaway used to manage MJF a handful of years ago in the Indies. So kind of putting them back together makes sense. They're both great on the mic, of course. But is MJF really part of Hathaway's faction? I don't know. We'll have to just kind of wait and see what plays out. But nonetheless, MJF is still, he's got that poker chip to cash that in whenever he wants. Probably sooner rather than later. So yeah, all the different things that were coming out. Well, number one, the scrum was a hot mess. It was really in my professional podcasting opinion, Tony should have stopped the scrum not even 5 minutes into it, pulled Punk aside and said, "What are you doing? Why are you going off about people that you're not even associated with?" He was nonstop talking about Colt Cabana, which I get that a lot of people, he's probably getting asked a lot of questions behind the scenes and from fans if he had something to do with Colt Cabana's, moving to Ring of Honor. And no, Punk didn't have anything to do with that. But then, Punk's going on and on about his past, the kind of moral character that Colt Cabana is, having a bank account with his mother, and it was all just very uncomfortable. And I don't know. Do we blame the bakery? Was there something in the cake? Was it tainted cake? I mean, is this going to be like a hashtag now? CM Punk's hashtag tainted cake? Because, like, the more cake he ate, the more mad he got. Like, what the hell was in the cake? He keep saying how great this bakery was. I ain't going to this bakery. Probably going to turn me into a case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Bone or something. I don't know. But he's just going on and on and on. And the look on Tony's face, he's just visibly uncomfortable. Mindy's Bakery. Yes, there it is. That place is going to be going out of business soon. No, I'm kidding. I don't wish that. I just think it's funny. The stuff with Keith Lee and Swerve was even uncomfortable at points because Tony's trying to, like, you know, they're like in character, they're out of character, they're in character, they're out of character. Tony storms up there, starts burying the champ. They're both burying the champ. The best part of it, honestly, was Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho was out there. He's fun. He was, like, not super mega heel of the night. He was just out there like, hey, what's up, everyone? You know, just chill. It really kind of, like, lifted the room up. You know what I mean? Like, everyone's on, like, eggshells waiting for, you know, Punk to, like, bite their heads off or something weird, like, oh my God, what's the hell's going to happen next? And, you know, Chris Jericho just kind of lightened the whole room. Zach Bonifer, you sick freak. Was that powdered sugar in the frosting? No, Anna, we know what that was. That's hilarious. And then we find out later what happened, and we still don't know exactly what happened, but we know that there was some kind of what's the word they keep using? Oh, melee. There was a melee backstage. A physical altercation, if you will, which caused the suspension of, let's see, where's this list here? Here we go. Barrasso noted that those getting suspensions include Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson, Pat Buck, no relation to the Young Bucks, wink, wink, Christopher Daniels, Michael Nakazawa, Brandon Cutler. Now, here's the part that's interesting, and we still don't know really what's going on with this yet. I'm sure we'll find out eventually. It was also noted that CM Punk and Ace Steel will either be among the group getting suspended or they possibly could be terminated by the end of the day on Wednesday. Well, I can tell you this much. CM Punk is also, last time I checked, right before I went live, is still on the roster page. So, and then I also found this, which I was like, oh my God, could we get more news? Well, I'm glad you asked, because guess what? There is some here. This is also courtesy of WrestleZone. Thank you, WrestleZone, for staying on top of this, even though you got your stuff from other people. But I prefer just to look straight at WrestleZone and get my news from them. Previous reports noted that Punk suffered some sort of injury the night of AEW All Out when he won the AEW World Championship by defeating Jon Moxley. After the show, he made some heated remarks about Colt Cabana, Hangman Page, EVPs, which reportedly prompted a physical confrontation between Punk and the latter trio. it had been unclear at one point in the night Punk suffered the injury. It was reported that according to sources, Punk hurt Punk hurt his arm in the dive during his match with Moxley. And he was icing it after the bout and hurt before the melee. So, but now he is injured. What the injury specifically is, we don't know. So Punk is apparently still employed, but injured again and suspended. So, but as far as specifically, there's so many things that came out, and I'm not even going to talk about it because it's not even worth talking about. As far as who hit who threw a chair at who got a black eye, who bit who. Apparently there was some biting. It's like, wow, what kind of melee is this? I need to Google melee. Apparently, does melee include biting? Is there? I don't know. So is there like a Midwestern form of melee compared to like a Southern or an East Coast melee? Can we find that out? You know what? You know what I need right now? After all this, I realized the other day that I had not had one damn dum-dum all weekend. It's time for a dum-dum. For Mark Fracas? Oh, yeah. Good guy. What does Mark say here? Good guy Kenny Omega literally saving puppies. Puppies? That one went over my head. Anyways. So yeah. And apparently, and there's apparently some kind of third party investigating stuff too. So Kenny actually saved Punk's dog from the fight? Is that true? Okay, so one thing I did hear, which I thought was interesting, is apparently Ace Steel's wife was backstage during all this as well, and she had a broken leg or foot or something. So whatever Ace Steel was doing physically to the people who were trying to get into the room can also be considered he was protecting his wife as well. So who knows? It's all just little things you hear about there, and you don't even know what the hell to believe anymore. So the twist of it all, Mark says the third party is Triple Nose. Dear God, that's crazy. So okay, so then on to tonight, we find out a lot of these vague suspensions, still nothing too specific, but we find out that the AEW world title is vacant along with the trios title, and that we are going to get new trios champions tonight. Thank you, Tony. Saying it with a big smile on his face, and it just makes the whole world better. It's like, here's a lollipop. Thank you, Tony. My goodness, what a guy. That TK, people are really harsh on him. says he doesn't know how to turn a company around. Look what he's doing. It's like flipping a house. Anyways. Shut up, J-Bone. All right. Okay, I can get rid of that tab. So we start out the night with local favorite MJF. And he's out there wearing local, Buffalo Bills quarterback number, whatever, jersey. And he is full-blown babyface mode, which is so uncomfortable to watch. It's like you can't even believe it. Which we find out later he's full of crap. He couldn't contain himself any longer. He had to go full-blown heel again, which it didn't take him very long. But the crowd was just absolutely eating out of his hand. And I was like, wow, he's really doing this babyface thing. I mean, he was throwing in little heel remarks like under his breath and stuff, but he was like, no, I'm kidding. I love you guys, like trying to like he couldn't help himself. He just had to tear the crowd up. $5 super chat from Bell's Boy. Thank you, brother. Much love. It's story time with a Bone Daddy. Smash the like button. That's right. Smash that like button. Listen to the Bell's Boy. Thank you, brother. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Mox comes out, flips the switch. MJF turns heel, rips off the jersey. That quarterback sucks. And he looks like he's gonna tear off more layers of clothing and get into a fight with Mox, and then he just chickens out and runs away. And then Mox, who was supposed to be on vacation. Thank you, Mox, for coming back and saving the day. Thank you, Courtney, for the $2 tip. MJF. Sad face emoji. Are you sad that MJF is back, or are you sad that MJF is still an asshole, or what are you sad about? Tell me. Yeah. Anna here even says he had me sold on him as a babyface. Me too. I was buying it for a second, even though it was, like I said, strangely uncomfortable. But Mox comes out there and cuts one of his best promos ever. It was pretty much in the same vein. Now, I'm taking you back a little here, so you're going to have to bear with me. Some of you may have seen this. Some of you may have not. When Stone Cold Steve Austin took his bag and went home. Now, we're talking about something from about 20 years ago-ish. At least I think it was from about that time. And then The Rock, the next week, goes out there and cuts a scathing promo against Stone Cold leaving. Well, the promo that Mox cut was similar, different, but similar to that. It had felt like it was like in the same vein as when The Rock was talking about Stone Cold leaving. Let me know if you felt the same way, because I was thinking this the whole time he was talking after MJF left. Obviously, in this bracket of the Champions Tournament that's happening tonight and next week, and then leading into Arthur Ashe Stadium. Apparently Jericho and Moxley get a bye week, so they'll fight the winners of their ends of the bracket. Is it next week? I believe it is, or something like that. But we're going to get a new champ at Arthur Ashe Stadium. So, absolutely zero mention of Punk or Kenny Omega or the Young Bucks. Zero mention at all. So, interesting. I was not expecting anything specific, but, you know, you still kind of want to know what's happening. But that's what the article from SI was talking about suspensions. Like, okay, at least we know that people are getting suspended for, you know, what amount of time, we don't know. So, so we start out here with the getting new trios title holders. We got the Best Friends, consisting of Sexy Chucky T, Trent, and Orange Cassidy versus the Death Triangle, Pac, Pentagon, and Fenix. Death Triangle wins this one, so Pac now has 2 titles. He's got the Mid-Atlantic title and is, you know, 1/3 of the trios titles. And this was a lot of fun. I don't think this is over between these guys, but it's I was kind of, you know, we've seen the Lucha Brothers have, you know, their tag champs before. Pac is a title holder. I was kind of hoping that Best Friends could finally hold titles, because I don't think any of them have held a title yet. Certainly have had chances at other titles, but never held a title yet. And thinking about them being OGs in the company, it certainly seemed like a proper time to, hey, thank you for all your hard work, and here you are now the new trios champions. But I digress. It's not what we got. But nonetheless, it was still fun. Dark Order apparently wants number 10 to work with them. Or, excuse me, Dark Order was out there, and Andrade and Rush were out there. Andrade apparently wants number 10 to work for them. So there's something weird going on there. I don't know if this is just a slow disassembling of the Dark Order or what, but something's going on. Toni Storm took on Penelope Ford in a short but sweet match. I hadn't seen Penelope Ford in a long time, so this was actually kind of nice. It was short, but it was all right. And the crowd, sadly, just doesn't seem into Toni Storm as champ. Maybe being there, it sounded different, but like watching it on TV, I didn't feel like they were into this at all. So if you got a different vibe, please let me know. You know, I've been wrong before. I'll admit to being wrong. But it just didn't seem like they were into this at all. It was an okay match, but I don't know. Sometimes you got to wonder, did TK pull the trigger on the wrong woman to hold the interim title? Wardlow defended the TNT title against Tony Nese, destroyed him in about 10 seconds. Part of this new championship wild card, we got Adam Page, which I don't know who was saying he was suspended, but he was right here, not suspended. So way to go, with the fake news and all. Adam Page versus Bryan Danielson. Oh my God, what a match! Anna says AEW crowds are never into women. No, they are though. It just depends. For example, they're very into DMD, Britt Baker, and they're very into Thunder Rosa. Nyla Rose, they've been reactive to. Sheeta, they've reacted to. Just certain ones, I don't know. The biggest pop, I think, it certainly depends on the city, is absolutely Britt Baker or Thunder Rosa. But it's not all of them. So, but yeah. Yeah, what a match between Bryan Danielson and Adam Page. And now the story with this is Bryan Danielson couldn't beat Adam Page because when he wrestled him before, was it twice when he wrestled him before? He couldn't beat him, and that's when Adam Page was champ. But now he finally beat him. So, Mark says, can't connect with 12 minutes of TV time combined a week. Yeah, I hear you. They have gotten better, but well, think of it this way. Anything that was supposed to happen this week was probably changed several times in the last few days. Just very uncomfortable. Ring of Honor Pure title time. Wheeler Yuta defending against Daniel Garcia. Daniel Garcia out there on his own with no Jericho Appreciation Society at his side. But then again, Wheeler Yuta was out there on his own too. And this was a thing where a local young man was about to make his hometown proud. And you really felt that throughout this match. The crowd was thoroughly behind Daniel Garcia. They like Wheeler Yuta because of his accomplishments and being part of the combat, Blackpool Combat Club. But this was, and it's a different kind of match. Not everybody is into the pure wrestling, but this one had a different kind of energy to it. And I've seen pure matches before, especially when they brought back the pure title before the debacle of the original Ring of Honor, before AEW bought it. And sadly, when they brought it back, it was when they didn't have any audiences. So that did not do it any favors. But now you've got a crowd cheering on, both these guys, but mostly Daniel Garcia because he's the local favorite. And that already gives this match a different feel, This crowd is firmly behind Daniel Garcia. Daniel Garcia wins the pure title. Here's the interesting part at the conclusion. They shake each other's hands. They show the sign of honor. Bryan Danielson comes down to the ring, takes the title, and puts it around Daniel Garcia's waist. For those of you that need a reminder, Bryan Danielson is the hero of Daniel Garcia. And to have Bryan Danielson come down, I mean, it's also for storyline purposes because, you know, Jericho then comes out at the end, is like, hey, what are you doing? You know, obviously upsetting Jericho because now Bryan Danielson is raising Daniel Garcia's hand, new champion. He just put the belt around his waist. He's got to be thinking this is one of the greatest days of my professional wrestling career. My hero is putting my new championship on me. That's pretty amazing. But for storyline purposes, you know, that Chris Jericho's getting pissed, like, hey, what are you doing? So, as chaotic as the last few days were with news and rumors of news and news rumors and it was just a hot mess across the board. If you were refreshing Twitter like every 2 seconds trying to figure out who was fired and who was suspended and who was putting out fires while being suspended and whatnot, I really think you need to choose a better way to spend your time. Really. And certainly don't, you know, pay people for news, please. You know, I mean, you guys have been very generous here tonight, but I certainly don't think of you guys as paying me for news. You can find news anywhere, but I'll tell you this much. I pride myself in not telling you guys BS or made up stuff just to try to get your hard-earned dollar. And for anyone that actually does try to do that, shame on you. Bell's boy throwing out the most controversial chat moment of the night, saying CM Punk did not get Kenny suspended. Kenny did that on his own. Oh! And for that, sir, you get one of these.
Jiminy Christmas.
All right. So, before I have to, you know, break up fights in the chat, we're going to get out of here. Thanks, everyone, for just being patient with me, because as much as I wanted to get on here and talk about it, I did not have the energy for it. I barely had the energy for it tonight. I was this close from just saying, screw it, I'll just save my energy for Thursday night. But I wanted to get on here and talk about this because I do love this brand of AEW. And I wanted to talk briefly about Clash at the Castle. Because, I mean, I enjoyed all the shows I watched from the weekend, be WWE or AEW. I enjoyed them both a lot. Both brought a lot of entertainment. Just controversy aside, I've been absolutely fried, and I needed these shows just to kind of take me out of this, out of the moment, because I've been so just exhausted from everything going on with the sale of the house and everything, and just it's been a lot. It's been a lot. Physically, emotionally, more physically than emotionally lately. It's been rough. But anyways, I'm glad I could get on here tonight and talk about it. I know a lot of people probably were frustrated to the point after hearing all this news, whether it be real news or not. And, you know, a lot of fans probably walking away from AEW. I'm frustrated at the news I heard, but I'm not going to walk away from the brand. I am very curious to see how the brand recovers from this. I think they put on a great show tonight in light of said controversy, and we'll just have to see what happens. I am very curious to see who TK is thinking about crowning as the new AEW World Champion. I mean, does he automatically go back to Mox, or does he maybe try someone new like who we saw tonight? Like, I'll tell you what, I think Bryan Danielson's got a real shot here. And I don't know. I was thinking about that before I went live. I'm looking at the brackets and I'm like, well, okay, Adam Page is out. Bryan Danielson is going to face Chris Jericho, and Mox is going to face the winner of Darby Allin and Sammy Guevara. So I don't know. I think if you're going to ask me who's going to be the new champ at the end of all this, I'm going to say Bryan Danielson. But I'm not, please take that with a grain of salt. It's well, Courtney says, watch it be MJF. Well, MJF has to cash in his poker chip in order to do that. So I don't know if he could do that on the same night and beat down a fallen opponent, but we'll see. We'll see. As far as everyone who is suspended and or injured, we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. Like I said, it hurts as a fan when you see stuff like this happening, because you're just like, man, I watch wrestling to get away from this stupid shit. I don't want to hear about this stuff going on in the companies that I love, but it's also the industry. There's egos. Some egos are a little more fragile than others, I guess, as Mox has said. And that's the sad truth. So, but nonetheless, thanks everyone for tuning in tonight. I'll be back Thursday night for Impact stuff over on that other little podcast called Total Nonstop Impact. Impact talk for Impact fans. But make sure before Thursday night you tune into all the great stuff that like the UK guys did earlier today. Sadly, I missed it, but I know they always knock it out of the park. So please give them some love. And I'll see you guys Thursday night on TNI. Take care and much love. We'll see you soon.